here's the notes from on the benefits of growth that we were having a look at yesterday. So if you stick these in your black book, we said so. Economic growth is an increase in real GDP, and as long as the percentage change in GDP is greater than the percentage change in population, then what that'll do is it'll lead to an increase in GDP per capita. And as a result of that, that should lead to kind of various favourable outcomes, and we can look at those outcomes. We can look at those outcomes by growth, by group. So we could say, what does it mean if we take the government first? So if we take first the government, we know that an increase in GDP should have a variety of favourable impacts. So firstly, what that should do is it should lead to an increase in the tax base. There should be more income tax. There should be more VAT. More corporation tax. For the government. And at the same time, if that growth creates jobs, which we probably would expect it to do, then that should lead to a decrease in unemployment, which would lead to a decrease in government spending on benefits. So as a result of that, what we can say is that if we take all those things together, that leads to a decrease in the budget deficit, which in itself can be favourable. Or, of course, the government could then use that income instead. So if the decrease in the budget deficit instead, what the government could do is it could increase government spending on merit goods. So as a result of that, as a result of economic growth, that then leads to, hopefully, a better education system. The government can invest more into it. Better healthcare system, and so on. So firstly, economic growth has improved the government's tax base, and therefore, more money can be spent on those areas. If we then say, secondly, think about it, if we think about it for businesses, for firms, for most businesses, increase in GDP, should lead to an increase in the potential total market, and as a result, it leads to an increase in their profits. So because firms have more profits, they can do a variety of things with those profits. One thing they can do is they can pay dividends, and dividends are the part of profits that's paid out to shareholders. So therefore, anybody who's saving for a pension, people who are living off their savings and so on, we can say they're likely to benefit. So that's going to feed through to households. Although, of course, it's likely to benefit high-income households more than low-income households, on the basis that it's high-income households that tend to have lots of shares. Or they can reinvest that profit. And they can reinvest that profit into new processes, which should lead to a reduction in costs, which again is going to benefit households in the form of lower prices. And we can see that if you that was like our hard drive, wasn't it? We saw that kind of in the 1970s. You were looking at a 20 meg hard drive was coming in at sort of $3,000 or something. Whereas as you know today, that's a lot less. Or they can reinvest it into new products. And that's then obviously the whole world today. In terms of if you think about the internet, social media, phones, and all those things. They've all come about as a result of economic growth. So what that means, of course, then, is that the third group that benefits, is beginning to benefit, from all of this, is you and me, so households. So we can see that, economic growth has led to a steady increase in life expectancy. Although when we looked at the chart, we saw that it was kind of, it diminishes beyond a certain point. Yeah, so once income, it's kind of that the increase slows down after you reach go to $20,000 per capita. So by then most of the gains have already been made. We know that increase in GDP per capita, it leads to an ability to afford stuff. In poor countries, it allows a better diet for all of us. It leads to better housing. And fundamentally, just we can buy more things, and therefore we can have an easier life. Thirdly, is that if we look at some of the new products that have come about from dynamic efficiency, a lot of those have been labour-saving devices. So when you think about things like washing machines, when you think about dishwashers, and all those sorts of things, actually they free you. So that's a dishwasher. Sorry. They free you to spend more time doing nothing, not having to work, or rather in your home environment, there's much more leisure time. So all of those have contributed to an increase in leisure time, which has led to an increase in quality of life. So that says leisure, and then finally, you can say that in the workplace. If you look at workers, and say that an increase in GDP has allowed a big decrease in the length of the working week. We can say that since the 1870s, when the working week is kind of 60 to 70 hours. Now, 2019, we're kind of looking sort of 35 to 40 hours. So that's so you're working less time, and we also said that the nature of work has changed. So there's been a big decrease in accidents, and also work itself has moved towards being kind of service sector work. So again, it's less physically demanding. You're not out in all weathers and so on. So as a result of rising GDP over the last 100 years or so, pretty much what we're saying is that living standards for ordinary people have increased quite significantly. When I guess the last point that you could make is this idea that there have been kind of just major innovations that have made life fundamentally better for everybody. Whether that's antibiotics, whether that's contraception, all of these things have changed our life for the better. So therefore, in many ways, economic growth has been welcomed. And although we're going to go on to talk about some of the downsides of growth, not now, but in the lesson, is kind of you got to ask yourself, when do you want to live? 2019, or 1919? The answer is probably 2019.